Now a big development in Luigi Mangione's New York State murder case. A look at how he plans to defend himself at trial. His lawyers have told a judge that Mangione was suffering from an extreme emotional disturbance when he allegedly killed UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson. If the jury agrees that he was emotionally disturbed, he could face a manslaughter conviction, a much less serious offense than the murder charge he now faces. CBS News legal contributor Caroline Polisi is here to talk about what this new defense strategy could mean for the case. Caroline, good morning.
Good morning.
This is such a high-profile case. Everyone's following every bit of it. So what does this new strategy mean, and how is it different, or is it the same as pleading insane?
Yeah, let's talk about what this is not, which is an insanity defense, which we all think about as knowing the difference between right and wrong, not being able to do that. And an insanity defense results in a complete acquittal. This is what's known as an affirmative defense, and under New York law, it's a bit nuanced. It's kind of, specific to New York law, and it's basically would knock down that murder to charge to a manslaughter, so a difference in sentencing. What he would have to prove at trial by a preponderance of the evidence is that he was acting under an extreme emotional disturbance that resulted in a profound loss of self-control. Now, that's a subjective test, but there's also an objective prong, which would mean there would have to be some triggering event that was reasonable. So what's fascinating about this is that this now opens this case up in terms of the evidence that can be presented to all of those internal thoughts that Mangione had leading up to this. So remember, that manifesto is going to come in. Obviously, we're going to have expert testimony in the form of psychiatrists, psychological evidence. But, a lot of the things that make Luigi Mangione a sympathetic character to a certain subset in, this country, I mean, he's become a folk hero. That type of evidence now is going to be let in. Some of his frustrations with dealing with the healthcare industry, which could be somewhat relatable.
Could they use this emotional disturbance argument in the federal case? And why not just go for the full insanity defense?
Right. So, no, they can't use it in the federal case, which is fascinating because these two cases are on a collision course. I've never seen, this quickly is going to turn into the federal case after the state case. So they're essentially boxing themselves in. And, the defense is somewhat upset about this because every juror going into that federal case would essentially know that Mangione had conceded that he is the one that pulled the trigger. So this could be very difficult for the defense in the federal case.
Wow, incredibly fascinating. Caroline Polisi, always great to have you. Thank you very much.